This video is going to address the question of whether an archer's ideal peep height is linked to the elevation of their front slider sight. In other words, if an archer has their bow set up for 20 yards and they're using their most comfortable and natural anchor, the peep should be in the string at an elevation where when they're using their anchor, they automatically see through it straight to their 20-yard pin. So the question is, if the archer takes that same bow outside to shoot a 50-meter round, they're going to have to lower their front sight. So does that peep height now change, or should it change so that the archer can maintain a comfortable anchor at 50 yards? Or is it all the same? Also, if the archer is shooting a variable distance round, say 3D or field, should the peep height be adjusted differently so that it's in the middle of the distances between 2 yards and 100 yards? Or does it not matter? So this is my outdoor target setup, complete with the sight tape from 15 to 100 yards, and the sight is currently set at 50 yards. Okay, so I'm going to draw the bow to full draw, and we're going to run a couple demonstrations. Okay, so this pin is currently set to my eye height. This is the height of my eye when I'm at my natural, comfortable anchor. I have a straight wooden dowel rod, and I'm going to insert that through that pin, which would represent my line of sight, my eyeball, straight up to the front sight. So we have a straight line from the sight through the peep to my eye. So what happens if I change the elevation of the front sight? You're paying special attention to where the line of sight crosses the peep. So now I'm up at 20 yards. If I'm in my natural, comfortable anchor looking through the peep, I no longer see the pin centered in my peep. My line of sight has now raised up to where I'm looking through the top of the peep, if I'm looking through it at all. I may be too high to even see through the hole. Similarly, if I slide the front slider down to 100 yards from my eye, which none of this has changed from original. I haven't done anything other than move the position of the front sight. My anchor hasn't changed. My eye is still the same distance above the nock as it was. But I am no longer looking through the peep to see my 100-yard pin. I might even be looking completely underneath the peep. The only way I'm going to be able to see through the peep to my 100-yard pin is to raise my eye, which I can't do because it's constrained, but I would have to raise my eye, which would mean that I have to change my anchor to get this line up to the middle of the peep. So if I was shooting 100 yards, if this is my comfortable anchor and that's the pin setting, I should be sliding this peep down to the intersection between the line of sight and the string. That's where the peep should be, so that when I come to my natural anchor, I'm automatically looking through the middle of the peep to the sight. So I'm going to bring that back to 50, and I'm just going to repeat that again, zoomed in on the anchor area. So this is my natural comfortable anchor. This would be in the corner of my mouth. My nose would be touching the string about here, and this is my eyeball position, looking straight through the peep to my 50-yard pin, because I have my peep set for 50 yards. So I'm going to elevate the front sight to my 20-yard setting, and you can see that in nothing has changed. My anchor hasn't changed, nothing has changed. The bow hasn't changed. I haven't done anything except to change the position of the front sight. And I'm no longer looking through the peep. I'm looking through the top of it. And if I slide it down to 100, same thing. I haven't changed anything, not the way I'm holding the bow, not the way I'm anchoring, but I am clearly not looking through the peep anymore. The only way I could see through it is either to raise my eye or to lower the peep. Now, I'm certainly not suggesting that archers can't shoot multiple distances with one peep height setting. What I am suggesting is that when they do so, the way they do it is by making a small adjustment to their anchor so that when they're shooting long distances and their sight is low, they lift their head up a little bit, lower their anchor, and that puts them back in the middle of the peep. And when they're shooting very short distances, they scrunch down a little bit, raise their anchor, and that once again puts the peep back in the middle of the line of sight to the pin. So hopefully this illustration has helped some or confirmed to some that in fact your ideal peep height is dependent on the elevation of your front slider sight. For 80 or 100, my peep should be down here at the intersection of the line of sight and the bowstring. At 50, it should be at the intersection of the line of sight and the bowstring. And at 20, it should be at the intersection of the line of sight and the bowstring. If the peep is anywhere other than that intersection, you have to adjust your anchor to see through the peep and center your pin.